Hey man, how
Yeah,
are you? You good?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thank you very much for asking. And thank you very
Yeah,
much for taking time out as well to do the interview.
no problem at all. I am thankful to be talking about this record. I love it so much, and I need the world to know what's happening.
I I I agree. Like, I mean, obviously we're
Yeah,
over here in
man.
Australia. I mean, I don't think you've ever been over here.
No. Mm-mm.
Nah. So it's like everybody. As soon as I heard the album, I've been like just telling everybody, I'm like, you've got to get on this because I just
Yeah.
it doesn't fit within the ballpark that I listen to normally.
Hmm.
It's just such a good album. Like, it's such a fun
Yes.
album. It just makes you smile like every time I hear the songs.
Thank you,
Um,
bro. Thank you.
but that's enough of my opinion. So, because I've already done a review. So for people here in Australia, what's a little bit of the backstory of who you are and how you came to this album?
Um, I mean, naturally, shout out to my mom and my dad. I was born in Houston, Texas. And I grew up with eight brothers and sisters, and we all just loved music, mostly coming from being inspired by the church and, loving God and all those things. My mom had us like dancing and singing. Um, and I think I led my first song in the choir at like eight, and I got the bug immediately after that. And of course, being in Texas, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to LA and make my dreams happen, So around 19, I came here, and that's when I found rock music, and I have been on the journey to become a great music and a great musician and a great artist. But the past couple of years, I'm just like, man, I really want to be like one of the greatest of all time in this space, and I got a long way to go. But that was kind of like my first inspiration for this record, man, because it kind of felt like the first time where I had direction and I had vision, and I knew exactly what I wanted to say. I knew exactly what I wanted to talk about. I knew the sonic landscape that I wanted to live in. And I felt that it was something missing in the space, but I also felt like people are kind of looking for that nostalgia mixed with, that modern thing. And I feel really proud of it, man. It's like I'm super blessed to be able to have my hero as a friend now in Lenny Kravitz. And he was like, bro, right when I heard the album, he was like, this is something that I was looking for, like someone who can mix that modern thing mixed with the old school thing. I think Youngblood is doing a really great job of it at this time, and I think me using my voice, and that being a black voice too, I think is just another kind of perspective on it. And I'm just proud, bro, of what we're doing, and I'm proud of this album.
I think I mean, you're absolutely spot on. I think that's probably like I touched on earlier. Lenny Kravitz has touched on it. So obviously, we think the same, which
Yeah.
is
Yes.
like there's something in there that's like just wow. It was just like fresh and it was exciting, and I
Yeah,
get
bro.
the backstory of I'm guess I mean, you can hear the gospel in there, you can hear the funk that's in there, and disco that's in there from the 70s and 80s, as you
Yes.
mentioned, the soul and black, and then the rock music from now as well. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it's that's a very brave thing to do, to try and throw them all into a melting pot.
Oh yes.
So, I mean, did you just not like, did you have any apprehension, or were you just like, yes, this is it?
Yeah, it was, to be honest, it was a lot of like, this is what I'm doing. And I think I'm such a, I got big dreams and aspirations, and I know it takes a lot of work too to make something so good and to have it be a melting pot of all the inspirations over the past 60, 50 years. Um, but I was like, why not me? I was like, why can't I do it? And I've seen my heroes. I think Bowie did it exceptionally well. I think Earth, Wind, and Fire did it really well. I think, of course, Lenny and Prince did it really well. Um, and I wanted to throw my hat into the vibe, man. And I'm really thankful for my producers and just for my life experience up to this point, being able, I think I was self-aware enough to understand what I was doing. And we got some great songs out of it, bro. But yeah, it was definitely, I think, to my friends and like label homies, they were just like, "Oh, this is like a new sound," and I was like, "Yeah, rock. We need a new sound, though." Like I was so done with playing the old music that I had made, and I feel like this is my first kind of mature step into the industry, and I feel like this is Dwayne exactly like this is the way that I speak to my friends and my team, and like the close people in my life about love and spirituality and God, and sex and and all those things wrapped into one, and the surrendering of like how to be a good person and how to be a good partner, all those things. And yeah, it feels complete. It feels like Dwayne, and I really love that. Yeah.
Yeah. You did actually message me after I reviewed your album, so thank you very much for that, by the way. So much
Oh yeah.
appreciated. I did it
Yeah,
like
man,
2 minutes ago.
I'm
But
glad that people are like into it. You know what I mean? Like it means a lot to me, bro. Like I can tell that people are just like, "Oh, this is like really good. Like let me like discover this." And the fact that people are like showing it to their friends and showing it to their people, I'm like, I've never done that with a record, So I'm thankful.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the key words that I've always felt like listening to not just the music on this record and the styles, but also your own style as a person, like watching you on the Instagram reels and things like that, I
Yeah.
suppose is fluid. Fluid is the
Mm,
word I would use. Like
I
you don't,
love that.
if theatrical's another one, but you kind of like
Yes.
move between various things. I mean,
Right.
has that just been so liberating that you can just pop that out there and people go, yes,
Yeah. It's completely, bro. It's so liberating. I think I don't know. I feel, especially in the rock space, people are like a bit rigid, and one thing works for them, and I think I get why it works for them. Somebody can appear that doesn't look like me, and whatever they say and dress and sing about, people are just like, yeah, totally. Um, and I'm like, if I'm going to be here, I want to do it exactly my way, and I like to live in both worlds, and I think the people closest to me know that that's my truest self. I like to get on stage and dance. I like to freak people out. I like to freak myself out. I freak myself out by making a record this good, and like to because I hadn't done it before. I think I was missing, because I wasn't like my truest self in it. And I'm glad that you said that, yeah, you see it as fluid and theatrical, because yeah, that's the truest version of myself.
to which way should I go? I'll go with the Warped Tour thing first, and then I'll get into your songs. So, I mean, obviously, you played. So, I got a lot of questions, but I've only got 15 minutes. Um,
Yeah.
you did the Warped Tour recently, and obviously, I saw the video. That was the video you had from behind the drum kit. That was Love Raider,
Right.
from if I'm correct. Yeah,
Yes.
and I just seen the crowd going off. Now,
Yeah.
again, look, in Australia, it's a little bit different from America, so I do appreciate this. But how did you feel? That was a predominantly white crowd in front of you. You're there
Totally.
as a black man, and you've got them eating out the palm of your hands. Like, that must be, and again, that's a rock punk alternative crowd. Like, that must have been
Yeah.
like, oh, yes, it's my people.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like I genuinely feel like I won Warped Tour. You know what I mean? They put me on some side stage. We wasn't one of the bigger acts there. By from whatever they think was the right thing to do. And people showed up and really loved what I was doing. And I was nervous, bro, to be honest with you. Like I knew before, I was like, man, I'm gonna freak these people out. Not only because of my outfit, but just because, of the type of rock music that I make, and it turned out so beautiful. And I don't, yeah, I could kind of feel that they were holding on to all that I was doing, which is a special place for an artist to reach when you're on stage. And then I love the fact that they posted the clip and people were talking good and people were talking bad. And I think if you're not pushing, like I wanted to get into the space to push it forward. And I feel like I'm
Yeah,
one of the up and coming artists that are doing that. And that's such a blessing. It's like, feels incredible.
pushing envelopes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure.
Okay. All right, let's talk about the album. Okay, so the PR element was, and it's actually kind of quite nice because again, it comes back to who you are. On a mission to show the world that people in music should not be confined to one box. You then listen to the record. Um, Sundays is obviously about your dad,
Yes.
okay, and about growing up. I picked up on that. For the most part, though, I get the impression the rest of the album is about, is the character called June, and is that a real person?
Yeah, so the character is called June. She's someone that I do a lot of medicine work, and she's someone that I was kind of dreaming about the past 2 years. And what I really see June as is like a combination of all the beautiful, extraordinary women that I've had in my life. I always grew up with a lot of women and, aunties and my mother and my grandmothers and cousins and all that. And I've always like praised them and appreciated their impact on me a little bit more than like men. Because I always, like growing up, I was always just a bit more emotional, a bit more vulnerable, a bit more like in touch with my feelings. So I always kind of gravitated towards women a little bit more, outside of like wanting to like get married and all those things, which I want to do and like have a baby and all that. And I think the June character to me is just like, God. So the whole album, I'm just at her feet, praising and worshiping her and like surrendering to her. And also, it's kind of like my vibe of putting out the album. Like, if any women like this, I can be a really good partner. It's kind of like a love note that I'm sending out into the universe. But I think more specifically, it's me just kind of bowing and praising to the women in my life and seeing, a woman as God.
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful. When I go through it, we talk about it, and the musical styles and the content. Like Lady, Lady Lady, I think is the best song this year released. I
Oh
genuinely
man,
do.
thanks, bro.
I just can't get the amount of times I've listened to that song is just it's a bit scary actually. It's
I
a bit
love it.
soul
Yeah.
crushing.
Thank you,
So
brother.
obviously June, which was the single. I take a picture. I think I might have wrote about this in my review. Take a picture. I actually messaged one of my friends who's a stripper and said, "Would you dance to this song?" And she
Come
went, "Yes."
on.
So,
Yo,
so
literally, that's such a good idea, bro. We need to make like TikToks about like strippers dancing to my music. I think it would be so cool.
hey,
Yeah,
look,
yeah.
it
You
was
should
good
have her
enough
send it.
for it's been
You should have her send it to us if she does it, or you send it to me, please.
yeah, will do,
That
will do. Um, I'm very big on that one. And then there was the one you mentioned about Bowie earlier as well. I mean, the actually you mentioned about the producer actually on your co-writer. So Brandon is the producer and Dylan's the co-writer. So
Dylan is the
when you
producer and
mentioned
Brandon.
about,
Yeah,
I've got
switched
it mixed
around.
up.
Yeah,
Sorry, my
yeah.
apologies.
Oh no, no, it's okay.
So when you were there going, did you go to them going, okay, this is where I want to be. I want to have Bowie and Kravitz in here. I want to have stripper songs in here. I want to have songs
Yes.
of hope and joy in this album. And they
Mhm.
helped you mesh that together, or did they just kind of just sprinkle some ideas?
To be completely honest with you, bro, it was such I feel like I would go to the studio with the songs written. So like I would have the words and I knew the sonic landscape that I wanted it to live in, but that spectrum is so if you're if you're like inspired by Bowie and Lenny and
Right.
Prince, it's wide, and Sly and the Family Stone and Bill Withers, like it goes for so long and for somehow we were able to like push it forward and then to make it sound like Dwayne. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes people get caught up in their influences where it's like, okay, I know exactly what this is, and it's kind of like fucking with my like listening. And for some reason, I don't know if it was God, I don't know what it was, but I feel like we were able to take it and to like push me as an artist further. Um, yeah, I would go in and just like talk about Lenny, talk about Bowie, talk about Sly and the Family Stone, and Dylan and Brandon just would understand. And I mean, it would take us days and hours to like get it right, but there was never a day where I was like, yeah, we're completely missing it. Like there was never a day where I was like, yeah, this isn't it. Every time we got in there, bro, it's like we made like a song a day for like 3 months, for a long time. And then we had to craft it. But I don't know, we were efficient. Like it's interesting, bro. We were really efficient. And I think we were just like inspired to make something incredible. Yeah.
The spirit was there to help.
Spirit was it real
I
truly, bro. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. I'm going to ask the question because I got to, and I've only got 2 minutes. So, Australia, is there actually any plans to come over here?
I'm hoping, brother. To like we got to talk to the homies and figure it out. I think doing all the press with with the homies there, I think is going to help. But I'm hoping that we can. I think you guys would dig the music and dig the live shows. I would love to do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's a quick answer because it gives me another minute before Tiana cuts me off. So, I do want to talk about Lenny Kravitz. So how did you and because Lenny is probably again, if you're talking in a historical aspect, you before you it's probably Lenny Kravitz. Before
Hmm.
Lenny Kravitz is probably Prince.
Yes, sir.
And as you mentioned before, that is the disco of the late 70s,
Hmm.
where a black artist can be so rock
Right. Yeah,
rock
yeah.
influenced or rock influential. So how
Hmm.
did you and Lenny get together?
Um, I put out my first single, Highway Robbery, and then I had a friend post it, and then Lenny followed me, and I immediately hit him in the DMs and was like, "Yo, bro, I know closed mouths don't get fed. Like, you're literally such a hero of mine." And then we got on the phone maybe like a month later, and he was like, "This is what I've been looking for, like this modern and vintage thing." He's like, "You're gonna be a fucking star. Like, let's make music. I want to help you out and mentor you." And like the past 3 months, we've just, I got to go to the Bahamas and work with him. And then we kind of just talk every other day. And that was Highway Robbery was like the start of that. And he just saw me. You know what I mean? I think there are a lot of artists who don't there are a lot of white artists who get big help from like, we see all these tours get announced and they're just like, let me take the young homies up and like I love it and it's beautiful, but it's like to be seen by someone that looks like you, who is one of the greatest rock and roll artists of all time, when there's a million of us young homies like Lenny, Lenny, Lenny. Like I can tell even my friends are like, damn, like, how are you guys friends? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. He just saw me and I think my best friend was telling me that I think he feels like he sees himself, which is really sweet. And like the more we talk and hang out now, I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, like even like he called me about the Warp Tour thing. It was like, this is the fucking badass thing I've seen since Prince Dirty Mind. Like and that's like I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing, and I feel extremely seen by him, and it definitely helps. The battery in my back for it to be like, if my hero digs what I'm doing, like the world will eventually get behind this and see that I can. I kind of made out a funny thing at the beginning of the album, like I want to be the chocolate Lenny Kravitz of this generation, and as a little joke, but also to be very serious. And
true.
I hope that we're in the foes of that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, and I hope so as well. I mean, 'cause, like, Lenny's first couple of albums were not dissimilar to this. They were fresh. I mean,
Yeah,
Mama Said
man.
as an example, it was like
Come
came
on.
out of nowhere, and you were like, and this
Yeah, like
album's very, very much the same vibe. Yeah.
thank you, bro. And that's how I
Um,
feel too, man. It's really like beautiful to like have his peers too. Like he posted it the other day of like the album, and I'm just like, I think we're right where we need to be. Now we just gotta continue to spread the gospel of June and of this good music, coming out. So yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's great music. It's a fantastic album. But I'm not going to gush any more about your albums because I've already done it enough.
I don't
So
mind it.
it's done.
Yeah,
And now I'll hand you over to Anna now. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you do get to Australia very, very soon because I'll be
same,
one of
bro.
the first people down the front. I'll tell you that right now.
Beautiful, man. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you.